Good Monday morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6 Streaming on this Monday morning. Here we go, off to another week, and man, it's going to be another warm one. Nice though right now, though. Feels very refreshing outside. Very fall-like.
Exactly. If you want the fall, you got to get it in the morning because it is nowhere to be found once that sun comes up. We're heat up in a big way. So let's talk about it because you got beautiful views out across the city. A little wildfire smoke in the air, give you a little tinge, but overall, it's not causing huge problems. You just may smell a little bit occasionally. Weather headlines are all about the warmth. That's what tops things. Summer warmth into early fall. Highs will be about 10 to 20 degrees above average into the afternoon each and every day, all the way into the weekend. Saturday night into Sunday is the next best opportunity for some rain, and some of the latest models suggest even that isn't all that much to worry about. Now, typically either this week or next, we get our average first frost around the area. So I show you that to say you don't have to worry about that for quite a while. Temperatures right now near 60 degrees at the moment. A wide view shows some 50s showing up. Oh, there you go. Got down to 48 in Carroll. So a couple of spots trying to dip down into the 40s in the valleys of the Luss Hills and beyond. But again, those not nearly cold enough to get this. 40 years ago today, we had our earliest recorded measurable snowfall in the metro, 0.3 inches back in 1985. So you will not have that to worry about for quite a while as well. Muggy meter, pleasant to muggy today, just bouncing around a little bit. It looks like it's going to be a great day overall, not incredibly humid, but we're going to heat up to go along with all the sunshine we will have. So mostly sunny skies, warmest from the 60s through the 70s to near 80 degrees by noon. And then by 3 o'clock, we're upper 80s, 88 to 89 degrees for that afternoon high. That will be the high today, well above average, about 15 degrees above average. Then clouds start to filter in, try to hold on to some of that warmth through the course of the afternoon, evening, and during the overnight. The clouds really thicken up. So that is what you'll notice by tomorrow. And that's going to lead to Tuesday being the coolest day of the week. Not because cooler air has worked its way in, cooler air mass from Canada or anything like that. It's just because the clouds kind of get in the way. 83 for the high on Tuesday, then 87 on Wednesday. So a lot of summer warmth there to be found. 10 to 15 degrees above average. Average high is about 73, 74 this time of year. Oh my gosh, but before we even get to 70s, we're going to see 90s. Is that right? That's the thing. From there, temperatures go up. I'm watching Thursday, Friday, and Saturday really heating up. Now you can see where the muggy meter even tomorrow dips quite a bit. So a big reason why we're going to be able to warm even more by the end of the week is we'll take any humidity out of the air. The drier air can heat up a lot. It's going to basically mean there's not many rain chances this week as well. So get on that sprinkler schedule, keep water in the mums, the gardens, and you're not going to get any help from Mother Nature out of this stretch. And you can see here all the way through the weekend and through the week into the weekend, very, very dry conditions. No threat of any rain until late Saturday into Sunday and maybe early next week. And I'm thinking that might be a little bit over the top there with some 1-inch totals. Again, we're still talking about a week away for the majority of that. So up until that point, here is what Cerise is talking about. 90 degrees on Thursday, 92 on Friday. Believe it or not, still about 4 degrees shy of some records on all these days. Bumped up Saturday to 89. We'll have the Husker game day forecast out here in the next day or two to give you an idea of what you can expect there. I think the rain chance is going to hold off until the evening and overnight hours. So that probably more of a Sunday issue, 82 there. And even this 74 on Wednesday. Average high by this time in October, yeah, that's October already, is 70 degrees. So again, we're still about 5 degrees above average for the end of the 10-day forecast. So we're still waiting on a little fall to show up. Nowhere to be found, and even looking some longer range stuff that we lean on a little bit. Yeah, just warm. But you know what? Those 70-degree temperature days will give people hope. That's the thing. Will give you hope, right? Don't you feel better seeing that? Those are going to feel pretty good, but still, it's weird how it's just warm. Is that like the equivalent of getting the text of OMW? Like, falls just a little bit late. It's on the way. Eventually. All right. Well, speaking of summer, we've got plenty of sunshine to go around, which isn't great news for drivers this time of morning. Yeah, you got to use some extra caution as you're heading out and about when you get these kind of mornings, because as we saw last week, sun glare can really impact the drive. So we'll check in on what those roads are looking like with that sun glare here in a bit. I am watching what I'm not 100% confirmed, but this does look like a crash on 168th just
just to the north of Harrison. This is at the intersection with Monroe. You can see how both directions are quite slow here on 168. So use some caution if you're going to be heading in that area. It looks like we do have a crash that is in place there. Otherwise, what we're dealing with this morning, well, this is a big surprise, right? Gridlock on I-80 as you're approaching the construction zone, as you're around L and Q. Westbound, that is slow. It is moving. It's just not moving very quickly. So be ready for that. Thankfully not backing up into the 680 interchange. But this is one area I will be watching this morning, is just to the east of the 680 interchange. That's one of the spots where things really start to flare up with that sun glare during the morning drive. So I'll be watching that. I'll be watching Dodge as well as Highway 370. Any of your eastbound roads, you're going to have that right in your face as we're heading through the 7:30 and 8 a.m. time frame. So be ready for that. A little slow on L. I'm seeing some consistent slowing showing up right near 72nd, both directions between 72nd and 60th. Remember, we do have some construction work that's happening in this area, maybe part of the reason. And then northbound 72nd also showing some delays. So right now we're not looking at too many spots that are having big slowdowns, but we do have some slowdowns, and we're starting to pick things up. And again, some of the spots I outlined may start to get slower here as we pick up the traffic and get that sunshine fully in force. So a lot of green on the map right now. We'll probably be turning that more yellow and orange here as we get through the next half hour, 45 minutes. We'll be tracking it for you though.
All right, Jared, we know you're on it. Thank you. Well, hours after the Bud Crawford parade, the legendary boxer was pulled over by Omaha Police. The incident now the subject of an internal investigation. It all started when Crawford and his team were leaving a parade after party. OPD says officers pulled Crawford over near 12th and Cass for reckless driving. An officer saw a gun on the floor of the car, causing officers to draw their weapons. The head of Crawford Security says it went down differently.
He never see a pistol. He never see a firearm anywhere. They didn't even see the firearm on me because of the way I was positioned in the vehicle.
Well, Crawford and 4 others were taken out of the vehicle and put in handcuffs. A short time later, they were released with a driving citation. Gunfire sent a man to the hospital. This happened near 48th and Nicholas Streets over the weekend. OPD officers arrived to find a 28-year-old man shot in the arm. Police tell us the victim's injuries are not serious. So far, there's no word on any suspects. If you do have any information that could help police, give them a call at Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous. All right, I'm here at the safety desk with our Maria Kate. It seems like we've been in a lot of these lately.
Oh, yes.
Check your fridge. There's another recall you're telling us about.
Another one. This one is for ready-to-make pasta.
Oh, yeah, those are popular.
Yes, the USDA is issuing this health alert for those meals because they could be contaminated with listeria. So this is for Walmart's market-side linguine with beef meatballs and marinara sauce, as well as the Trader Joe's Cajun-style blackened chicken breast fettuccine Alfredo. I think that one's actually pretty popular. A lot of people might have these. The products have a best by date for late September, early October. So if you do buy them, chances are, if you haven't eaten them yet, they're still in your fridge. Of course, listeria can cause really serious illnesses, especially for people who are in those high-risk groups, older adults, pregnant women. So if you have any of these, throw them out, or you can take them back to the store as always and get a refund on them.
Got to be so careful, Maria. Thanks for alerting us to that. We appreciate it. And we're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Look at that beautiful look outside.
Love it.
Sunshine, blue skies. We are loving it. I want to give a shout out to all the people who completed the Omaha Marathon over the weekend.
that was a
the
special
half
weekend.
marathon, the full marathon. Very impressive.
Good
people.
job.
I know it. All right. If you're wondering if you can get a car wash, Rusty's got the answer for you.
You can keep it clean all week.
All week.
Weather's not going to cause a problem. It's all a matter of what you do with the car, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending upon where you drive and what roads you take. It's going to be a pretty easy one to get the car washed to keep it clean all week. It's a go for it in the car wash forecast. There is no rain in the forecast till the end of the weekend, pretty much. First alert to storm chances being non-existent all the way through this upcoming week. By the weekend, they start to uptick a little bit, so heads up there. Right around 60 at the moment. These numbers will start to warm pretty quickly. You got some cooler numbers on the Iowa side, right around 50 degrees, but overall, these are trending up from here on out. Muggy meter bouncing around between pleasant and muggy, so you'll feel a little more humidity than yesterday. Yesterday's dew points were down here. Give you a little idea. We were pleasant to refreshing yesterday. A little higher today. First alert forecast takes those numbers near 60. We'll warm them to near 90 this afternoon. So it's hot by late September standards, not incredibly humid, but you'll notice it. Now, look at the thicker clouds on the way for Tuesday. That's the big reason why we're going to be cooler. Clouds moving through, holding back the temperature a little bit, getting in the way of the sunlight. Sun angles starting to get a little bit lower. The UV index isn't incredibly high, so signs that will probably be a little bit cooler there, but that's still 10 degrees above average. It's bonkers. Then into the evening hours, those start to move out. 87 on Wednesday, and you can see tomorrow 83 for the afternoon high, probably the coolest, most comfortable day of the week with the clouds around, but then it's all about the summer heat. And you can get the yard mowed this week. You probably need to keep watering it to keep it green and growing. So there you go. It's a catch-22 on that one. Figure out what you want to do, how often you want to mow. You got beautiful weather for it. All the way through this week, we're going to keep the muggy meter down here pretty pleasant. Again, today's probably the highest, the worst of it. It tries to uptick a little bit by Friday, and that's when we also heat it up a little bit. 83 from Tuesday, all the way up to 92 by Friday. That is some heat for early October. Again, remember, Wednesday is October 1, and we're going to be surging to near 90 degrees to start off the month.
Okay, so we are starting October soon, as you mentioned. Is there any sign of fall for people who are really itching for it?
It gets closer.
Oh, okay.
Not just on the calendar, but not just with the season either. You'll notice here, 80s this weekend. I think we make a run at 90 degrees on Saturday as well. And even these 70s you see are a little bit above average. Average by this Wednesday here, about a week into October, is 70 degrees. So when I show you this, it gives you an idea. Warmer than average weather likely to persist even deep into October towards the middle of the month. And that's likely going to mean at least 70s for all of us, which is pretty comfortable, but there's probably still going to be quite a few 80s sprinkled in there. So it's all about the warmth as far as the eye can see, and not a lot changing in that regard.
So question with that, Rusty.
Okay.
That graphic, last week it was entirely orange and red. I notice here we've got that not the case on the Pacific coast. Is that a sign of maybe getting some changes?
I was hoping, but even as you look a little beyond that, that kind of stays to the west.
Oh.
And we keep getting the wind out of the southwest, and I think it's going to mean a lot of 70s and 80s for us, at least through the middle of the month.
All right. Well, as long as we know, that's
There
what
you
we're
go.
dealing with. Jared, you got a new crash to tell us about traffic-wise.
Yeah, we're looking at impacts just north of Harrison as you're getting into the Millard area. So let's check out 168th and what we're seeing with the delays here. This is a crash that is impacting both northbound and southbound travel around here. So this is one where you want to use caution if you're heading into this area, likely some emergency crews working at scene, and maybe consider using a different route as we are looking at things quite slow right around this area. So we zoom out a little bit, you can see 156 not doing too bad at this point, in similar case as you get toward 180. Those would be better options given what's going on there on 168th. I do want to first alert you to something else that you may encounter as you're heading out the door this morning, and this is the South Expressway. Let's start with the good news in case you missed it over the weekend. Southbound travel on the South Expressway in Council Bluffs is now open near 32nd. This had been closed for a couple of weeks for some railroad crossing work. That is wrapped up for southbound. Now it's the northbound's turn as you're approaching that. So scheduled today, and it's unclear exactly what time today this starts. So first alert to that. Between 34th and 32nd, you are looking at that new road closure starting and scheduled to last for 2 weeks. So what you do as your alternate route during that time frame, go from the Veterans Memorial Parkway, Highway 275, turn onto 11th Street, you can go north on that, and then turn onto 32nd Avenue, and that will get you to the South Expressway, get you around that new closure. Aside from what we were seeing 168th with that crash just north of Harrison, a little slower than normal in Benson. Watch for that if you're traveling right around there, but mostly moving along pretty well in the early going, and I'm hoping we can hold that as the case here as we continue to pick up the traffic load. It's a sunny morning again, so that sun glare could be a factor for a lot of our eastbound roads. Starting to maybe get the first signs of that on 370. We'll be tracking that through the rest of the morning commute. First alert you if it becomes a big problem.
All right, I hope it doesn't, Jared. Thank you.
While there is still much that we don't know, what we do know is that Dr. Roberts is currently unavailable to perform his duties as superintendent.
In a closed session, Des Moines Public Schools voted unanimously to place Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts on paid administrative leave. This after he was detained by ICE late last week. An ICE spokesperson says Roberts fled from police during a traffic stop, leaving his car behind. They say he had a gun, which is against the law for an immigrant without legal status. Now, Roberts is a Guyana national, and federal agents say he came to the U.S. in 1999 on a student visa. He is being held in the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center in Sioux City.
No fear, immigrants are welcome here. No ICE, no fear, immigrants are welcome here.
Protesters gathered outside of the same jail where Dr. Roberts is being held. They say he's been a big advocate for education. Federal agents say Roberts was given a final order of removal from an immigration judge in May of last year. The school board president says the information she has shows Robert is a citizen. Well, new video this morning showing alarming thefts in Bellevue. 2 guns and other items were stolen from several unlocked cars. Check this out. Bellevue police tell us 3 suspects went house to house. This is near Highway 31st and Highway 370, I should say. BPD is asking for your help in identifying those thieves. If you can provide any information that could lead to their arrest, you should call the Sarpy County Crime Stoppers. That number is 402-592-STOP. Well, still ahead, tears and tail wags, the emotional reunion that you're going to want to see for yourself when we come back. Under this morning, service dogs reunite with some old friends in Oregon.
Yeah, this is really sweet. The dogs were raised with the help from inmates at a correctional facility, and the pups spent their first 18 months being cared for and trained by those inmates. So the dogs learned 30 different cues. There's also exposure to grooming, so the animals can get comfortable with that. The dogs are then moving to a training center in California to become certified for service. And this pilot program, it started back in 2023, so they've been doing it for a couple of years now.
Oh, I bet they do get attached to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great that they're, training more dogs because there's a really
There's a
big need for that.
huge need.
It takes a lot to get them qualified
Yep.
too.
All right. What else we got, Miss Maria?
It's National Coffee Day.
Who's excited? So here's how you can score some free coffee or some discounted coffee in celebration of the occasion. Dunkin' Donuts is offering a free medium hot or iced coffee when you order through their app.
Okay.
Starbucks will give you 100 bonus points in their app when you buy a coffee of any size. And Scooters is also getting in on the action. They're offering a free medium brewed coffee if you order through the app. These days you got to have the app if you want the deals.
Yeah.
And also I'm sure our local coffee shops are doing some wonderful things for you to celebrate as well.
So many great options.
Yeah,
to
what's your
celebrate.
favorite coffee right now?
Yes.
Yes. So I only drink like the flavored lattes, so I'm all pumpkin spice all the time.
yeah.
Maria got me, you got me going, trying the different ones. Yeah.
Not the pumpkin. I like the pecan. What's the other one? The other fall flavors.
Yeah, that one's good.
I want to
too.
try them all.
Try that.
Yeah. And you're sticking with yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All the coffee.
On that note, enjoy your coffee this morning. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air. We sure hope you have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Monday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole. We want to get right to First Alert Traffic. Jared Lansford's tracking a new crash this morning.
Yeah, 168 seeing all kinds of issues right around Monroe. This is just off to the north of Harrison, and even Harrison now starting to show some delays as you're heading eastbound toward that intersection with 168. So this area in general, you need to expect some delays. And here when I zoom out, what you're going to notice here is that we are looking at better travel that's ongoing on 156th and on 180th. So those are some good alternate routes to avoid what you're seeing there at 168th and Monroe. Elsewhere, watching the beginnings of maybe some sun glare starting to show up. Dodge eastbound at about 168th and 370 approaching I-80. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. Out there today, it's all about the warmth and just how far into the 80s we're going to go every day this week, and we'll even mix in some 90s. We're starting off near 60. That's the way the mornings are going to be, right around 60 each and every morning. That's when you get your fall feel, is when you step out to start the day. Then just some scattered clouds floating through. We'll climb to about 89 for the high today. A little more humidity than what we had yesterday, but still the air relatively dry compared to what you'd get in a summer day that's near 89. Pretty quiet on the satellite picture. Muggy meter will try to go up a little bit. As I mentioned, just a little bit more humidity. Yesterday we were hanging out down here, refreshing to Pleasant. That's where the muggy meter was, and now that's going to go up a little bit today. Tomorrow cooler because of the clouds, not really a cooler air mass in place. 83 there, and then 87 for the high on Wednesday. Cerise?
Rusty, thank you. Well, hours after his parade, Omaha boxing champion Terrence Bud Crawford was pulled over by Omaha Police. Crawford and 4 others were taken out of the vehicle and put in handcuffs after police discovered a gun in the car. They were later released with a driving citation. It is 7:28. We are back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.
Now we'll go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good morning and first alert to a warm stretch of weather. Should be up near 80 degrees by noon, and it's all 80s all afternoon. Likely up to about 89 for the high and a little bit of humidity. You'll notice the muggy meter uptick just a little bit today compared to what we had over the past weekend.
First Alert 6 weather forecast is sponsored by CHI Health.
First alert to that summer feel in the air. A little bit of humidity today, right up near the muggy range with some of the dew points. And we'll go to 89 for the high, cooler with clouds on Tuesday, 83, then 87 for the high on Wednesday.
Now, First Alert 6 weather.
First alert to a warm and somewhat humid day for late September. Upper 80s for afternoon high, 88 to 89 looks to be pretty common around the area with abundant sunshine. Clouds will build in tonight. Stick with us tomorrow. Keep us cooler with an 83 there. 87 on Wednesday, 90 Thursday, 92 on Friday. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday might be the warmest of this stretch, and some cooler air finally by the early part of next week.